Hey guys, Ugly Zen here. So today I got for you a story about New Year's Eve, a run I did, and then I have um, some thoughts that I feel like I've made some development on, and then I also have a basically like a goal for January that I want to share with you guys. So um, let's start off with the run I did on New Year's. Um, so This is kind of fucking crazy, but just to preface this, I'm training for a run, an ultra marathon actually, and it's called the Hallucination 100 Mile, and this is in September. So basically, it's like 9 months and a little bit over 9 months away, and so I'm trying to get my training. I'm trying to get those miles. My idea is basically like, okay, I should be able to, like, when I started this, it's like, okay, I gotta run 10 miles. Then it's like, okay, I gotta run 20 miles and then 30 miles and then 40 miles and just like each month see if I can run 10 more miles. That's kind of some dumb shit thinking probably, but I just kind of have like this arbitrary like feeling, I guess, of like where I should be at in terms of like the distance I can run. And so I went out and my plan was to run 40 miles, and I ended up having to split it in between two different runs. Um, Something kind of crazy though about this is when I ran my first marathon, I was, I'm just gonna say it, like I was completely sober. I didn't take anything. Like I don't really I don't smoke weed really. I might like very rarely smoke or something like that, or drink coffee every once in a while. But I'm not like not anymore at least. Like I don't do a substance every day like coffee or weed or something like that. I'm like pretty straight edge. But I do psychedelics. So for this run, uh, and this idea of like this hallucination 100 mile that's very like hippie themed. I I don't know. Honestly, it was kind of like an impulsive decision. Not to say that like I was like fiending or anything for doing a psychedelic. It's just kind of like I'm gonna do this and then I'm gonna go do this run. And so I basically did I'll just say like 30 milligrams of 4-ACO DMT, which is basically like comparable to maybe like an eighth or like 3.5 grams of mushrooms, um, like magic mushrooms. So it was pretty moderate dose for me. Nothing like too crazy, I guess. But like I don't know. I just went for it. I took it, and then I went for this run, and so this was New Year's Eve, and it was 6 p.m. And so I went out to do this 40-mile run, and I just like went out there and I went for it. Um, Basically, right off, um, it takes a bit for it to like come on, and so I was just running, and as I was running, um, I ran I ran like a 13 minute, on average, like a 13-minute mile. So it wasn't like a dead sprint or anything for 40 miles, like, no way. Um, and so I was just chugging along and I was running, and the visuals started to come on, like, um, normally when I run, even without anything, I'll sort of like look into the distance, and it's kind of like this like when I'm like, um, I guess when I have like that adrenaline or whatever going, when I'm exhausted from like running, I'll like look into the distance or at something, and it's kind of like this weird visual effect that I'm not even gonna try and explain. But like when I was coming up on the 4-ACO DMT, it was I was like looking at the trees as I was like running towards them, and it's like wintertime here now, so it's like the trees were just like, they're kind of just like going like that. That's literally the best way I can explain it, except there's like a symmetry to them, so it almost looks like I don't know, it it kind of has like, I don't want to say fake, but it's kind of like this it looks like designed, I guess. It looks like there's like a design behind, like it looks like a design of sorts, like there's a conscious design, so it almost is like, if you can sort of feel like there's I guess like it can feel like like you're on a stage, or like I'm on a stage or something like that. It's very difficult to explain it. It's nothing like um, anything external, like cartoons just start running around me or anything like that. It's more so just like um, sort of visual enhancing. Um, so, anyways, I'm on this run, and I'm feeling pretty good, and I'm seeing the trees do this thing, and I just noticed some colors pop, and like the sky is looking sort of surreal. And like I feel like these sort of visuals can be achieved. I don't know, like that level of surreal feeling can be achieved. Like I've gone for runs at like 3 a.m. before, and like it was just reminding me of that, where it's like um, the sky just looks pretty awesome. It's almost like lit up, and so I was just doing my laps, um, and the colors started popping out on in this one area where there's like this light and like the staircase. There's like this light, and there's like, I don't know why, but it's like this shrubbery that was just like a really um it's like a bright red color, and it was just pretty cool. I don't know, it just looked pretty awesome. And but I feel like this wasn't so much like like a visual experience. I guess I was starting to see like the flower of life when I was like in the snow tracks, because there's like a texture to like the footprints, because I was making like this path basically that I was just running over and over and over like 80 times throughout the night, and it's like I could see like maybe a little bit of the flower of life, and I've I don't really see the flower of life when I trip, but that's what I was seeing. Let me see if I can get a picture. Basically, like here, I'll show you guys in a sec. Um, as my phone loads this, okay, this is probably a kind of shitty photo, but something like that. I was just like I was seeing this in the snow a little bit. Anyways, I ended up running 22 miles. I was feeling pretty good honestly. And my legs were feeling a little destroyed by the end of the 22 miles, because before that, the farthest distance I ran was 26 miles. So I ran 22 miles, like close to a marathon. I'm like, okay, honestly wasn't even set on running 40 miles. I was actually like, okay, I'm gonna run 30 miles, but something in my mind is just like, you gotta do this, you gotta go this distance, because um, I don't know, it's kind of like it itches in your mind if you don't do it, it's sort of like that. So, um, I went inside, I ended up, basically, at 22 miles, it was actually 23 miles, I'm sorry. At 23 miles, I was feeling pretty thirsty. Um, I'm like, man, I actually didn't drink that much today, so I went inside and I drank like a liter of snake juice, which is like poor man's Gatorade. You guys can just look into snake juice if you want to understand what that's all about. So I drink like a liter of snake juice. It's basically water with salt and electrolytes in it, and so I drank like a liter of this, but my shoes were covered in snow. So when I came inside, I didn't really think about it, but like my shoes just started to melt and get wet. So when I went back outside to run this, my toes started getting cold very quick because it was wet. It was wet inside my shoes and my socks, and it's like winter here, so my toes started getting cold very quickly. I ran maybe a half mile and then I came back inside. Because I'm like, man, I was honestly kind of like, fuck, I need to put my shoes in the dryer and my socks. So I kind of, this ended up taking much longer, and I honestly procrastinated like fuck all. What? Not fuck all, but just like, I procrastinated pretty hard on going back out to finish the run. So I ran like a 13-minute pace from about 6 p.m. to 11. Um, and so um, I I came inside, wanted to put my shoes in the dryer, but my roommate had their laundry going, so I set a timer. I came back in my room, and a kind of crazy thing is like I was tripping at this point, and like um, when I initially came inside, I never really have done that before where I run on psychedelics. So like, there's something about like the adrenaline and just like the I don't know, maybe the hormones or something, like the brain chemicals. Um, they're just all revved up. So it's like the visuals were revved up, and like it was honestly pretty badass. Like I came in and like every like my room, I have like a black light in it, and I have like posters and shit everywhere, and like yellow and blue. It just like pops out, and so everything was just like flaring. Um, when I came into my room, um, and so yeah, I went through this whole process of just like, this is where it kind of gets like more psychological. Like I was kind of going through some stuff where, if you guys have watched some of my earlier videos, I talk a lot about like, um, my thought process in relation to other people, and I guess I've been going through this journey of like in my past I've done, um, an intake of my resentments because I was reading Russell Brand's book Recovery. It's basically like the 12-step program, or like overcoming addiction and stuff like that. So I did an intake of my resentments in the past before, but I feel like it's like an ongoing thing where it's like right now I'm doing an intake of mistakes I've made. Um, I've got like a list going, and you, it's like I get my mistakes, I write them out, and then I write down like the effect they have and my part in it, like how I'm responsible for this, because it's like I'm trying to have a freedom over the having the same outcomes, like the same the same failures, I guess. Like I don't want to repeat mistakes essentially. So um, yeah, I'm just like trying to how do it's like I'm trying to become free from people owning space in my head. It's kind of like I'll dwell on things like every day, like, and I'll just be reminded of almost like these painful experiences, and it's like I'm a very protective person in nature, so I feel like if I've done wrong to someone, I want to set it right, and it's just a very persistent thing. So, um, yeah, I I was reaching out to someone I had a relationship with in the past, and um, I don't know, I was trying to, I wanted them, I guess like what I wanted is I wanted them to have emotional security, and basically what was communicated to me was like they don't need me, and so I don't know, I was just kind of like, it kind of hit me like I didn't really know how to react to it. I wasn't like angered or anything like that. I just sort of had almost like a weird daunting feeling because it's like basically what was communicated is like they don't need me for they don't need to have a relationship with me, and I didn't really know how to take that. So um anyways, I just like am trying to there's like several hours where I procrastinate to go back out on this run. And so I, from 11 p.m. to about fucking like 2 a.m., like 3 hours, I am just kind of like trying to like lay down, checking the laundry, like going back and forth every like half hour or so, and because their laundry just kept going. So, um, and part of it was just my own procrastination. So, um, like my shoes, like they knocked open the dryer. So when I came down there, like, um, it wasn't completely dry. Just little things, and it's like, okay, I'm just gonna like lay down basically and just like try and like be calm and just like what is it, like I do this thing where it's like I really try and relax sometimes, like I just try and relax as much as I can, and I was basically doing that, and um, I was honestly seeing if I could take like a nap or anything, but I could not sleep at all. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a nap for like 20 minutes and then I'm gonna go out and do this run, but I couldn't sleep at all. Because it's like once I laid down, it was just kind of like that itching in my mind. I could honestly hear like David Goggins just like I don't know, like if you guys know of David Goggins, like I've just watched so much of his videos to where it's like he's part of my inner dialogue now. Like that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's like he's just in my inner dialogue, and so he's just like kind of um, he kind of has this thing where it's like you don't want to be around people that like are trying to like wake you up and like we gotta go do this, man, we gotta put your shoes on, and it's just kind of that just like rattling off, and I'm just like, man, like I don't I don't want to get up right now. So I was just sort of like toiling in my own mind for a bit, just like I ended up actually looking at my shoes for maybe like 15 minutes. You know, just like I was holding it by the shoelace and just watching it dangle, and just like I don't know, I was just like procrastinating like a motherfucker. And so um I was still trying to set things right with my ex. Like I wanted them to feel peace for me. I wanted them to feel free for me. But I didn't have the words for it. I was still kind of just like frustrated. So it's like, um, I was like trying to pray. I did Wim Hof, which is like some intense breath work, and that was pretty sick, honestly. It's just like these fractals, just sort of like that symmetry, like closed eyes. They're just like rotating like crazy and almost like flat, some slight flashing, just like vibrant, like um, flaring of colors again, and just like this deep calm. And I'm like trying to pray and just like ask, basically like ask God things like what's wrong between us, and um, like what's off, and it was just like silence. It was like radio silence. Like I felt like I didn't get much answers, but then I got something, and it was basically like go finish the run, and it's like fuck. So I was like why, but I didn't get any response really. So I just ended up having to do it. Like I said, I procrastinated for 3 hours. Like at 2 a.m. I went back out, and I went to finish what I started basically. And um, okay, the video's at like 20 minutes now. So I went to finish what I started, and I it was it was pretty good. The running. I want to say that I had some moments of where I like did some sprints. There's honestly this one moment that kind of fucked with my mind for a bit. Like it felt like it basically felt like if you're in Mario Kart or something, or Sonic or whatever the fuck, and you hit one of those like speed boosters. It's like I don't know what it was, but I was like thinking. I had it a few times, but there's one time that stood out to me because it was like everything just gleamed when it happened. Like it felt very, very like. I hope the video's not stuttering right now, but everything just like was like brightened, um, like glowing, and it only happened for a few moments, but it was like it's kind of like I did like a sprint, and um, it was just like a ton of harmony in that few moments, and it was just like what the fuck, how did that happen, like how can I do this again? And so I was just like stuck thinking about that for a bit. There was one point where I was thinking about this situation with my ex or something like that, and I'm just like how bad is it, like that was the question, like how bad is it, and I just really wanted to know, because like I was trying to figure out like how wrong I was with them, I guess. um, it's like how bad is it, so I was just like that was my question, and so I was sprinting while I was thinking that because I wanted to understand really badly, like it was almost like a fear, just running straight into like a fear. It's like how fucking bad is this, and just I don't know, I felt really good about that, but you know, I had moments where it's like towards the end it was like I was still thinking about like my ex and shit like that, and I was like I wanted answers, I wanted to set things right, and um it's like okay, I gotta try hard as fuck, now I have to try really hard. I don't know why, but it's like man, I've never really tried very hard. Like I'm I run like a 13-minute mile, 12 to 14-minute mile sometimes, and so there, it's like okay, how bad is this? Time to try as hard as I can, and there's only short periods where I did some sprints, and it's like I'd do like a sprint, and then I'd sort of slow down a bit, and then I'd try and sprint again. And um, yeah, towards the end, and then towards the very end, the last 3 miles, um, probably like by when I had like 6 miles to go, you know, I was like checking my distance, and I kept checking, and like um, it kind of felt like the distance wasn't going by very fast or anything like that. Like it was kind of staying the same, and I feel like that was something I kind of almost anticipated with taking the psychedelics, is like being in that loop, um, where it's like you're kind of just stuck in the experience, or at least I feel like I'm just stuck in this experience where it feels like my legs are feeling sore, and I'm getting cold, and like it's like this sucks, and you know, when is this gonna end? And it's like, this isn't gonna end. That's basically what I am like I try to come to terms with, is to just accept it, you know, and that kind of helps. And um, by the end of it, I feel like the psychedelic was just like almost like out of my system entirely. Like I feel like I just like processed it. Um, like honestly, when I was running, like I just have to say this because I think that this is very good to know. I feel like it's very like running is very cleansing. Like I was tasting my mouth, and it's like, man, I can sort of taste some of that. Like I ate some perch, which is a fish. Like I could sort of taste it in my mouth. You know, I could sort of almost it. It's like it. It's not the best feeling to feel like your mouth is like kind of dirty, or you know. So, but like by the end of it, it felt like my mouth was very fresh. Um. Anyways, um, I feel like I got some progression in thought that it wasn't anything super solid. Like it was like, okay, now I'm right, or anything like that. Nothing like that. It was like, I hope she's able to forgive me someday, you know, like that. It's like, I'm not perfect. Um, and yeah, like I went to uh, write some notes. Um, So I ran 23 miles, and then I finished with 17 miles, and I was finished by 5:30 in the morning. And this was on New Year's, so I wasn't like fucking this was no party. Um but yeah, it's like one thing is like I struggle to find my voice. Um you know, like I say some fucked up shit sometimes because I don't know how to explain it, but it's just kind of like it's like I want to feel it's like I want to feel like transparent and like free, and just like I want to be able to say what's on my mind, but in a way it's like I don't always it's either like I don't always do that, so it's like things get bottled up in a way, and it's like that frustration just like gets let out. And but it's like, yeah, I struggle to find my voice, and I'm like introverted in the sense that I care very deeply about like few people, um, and I'm committed to them, and I'm committed to that. Yeah, like I'm pretty big on like commitment, I want to say, because I'm very protective, and like I said earlier, like that emotional security, like I don't know why, but it's just like I feel like it's in my nature to ensure that I'm not if I'm doing wrong, if I'm failing somehow another person, like I want to set that right, so I don't go off to like repeat that again with other people. Um yeah, and another thing too is like I honestly honestly have had sort of like depressive moments where it's like I feel like I don't necessarily. I'll just be honest, like because I feel like many people probably go through this, and it's like I kind of want to not live right now, but it's more so just like a thought, and not. I don't know how to explain it. It just feels like a thought, and like I don't know if it's just like a part of my ego or something that is just like I don't want to live on with this or something like that. But basically, it's like I feel like if I want to live my life and I want to be able to love everybody, then I have to account for my mistakes. And I feel like this is sort of something that I I don't know. I feel like this is true so far, um, because like through my mistakes, I learned sort of the direction. It's sort of through my mistakes. It's like I learned how to get back on track. And what I mean by back on track, it's like I get on track to what I want more or what I want most. So, so yeah, like to live my life and to love everybody. I feel like that's the so far like the abstract that I'm holding on to, or that I almost like envision. But yeah, it's like I'm not perfect, and I hope someday that they are able to forgive me. Um, I want them to feel like they say that they don't need me, and like when I was out on my run, it's like, what, good, like good, like I, um, it's like I feel like we're going somewhere now, and I don't know, like there's like I'm just gonna say this, but like say like military wives or something like that, like I listen to Jocko podcast, and I've sort of like tried searching up like relationship advice from him and shit like that, and he talks about like how his wife was emotionally secure, and um, he says that there's some balance with that, but like it's like when a wife has her husband out on a mission or something like that, it you know she should, I don't know, it's like it would be a good thing, I feel like, for them to be secure within themselves, to not be just like totally broken and upset that and not happy, or for, not being able to be fulfilled um, when their significant other is out on a mission. So I don't know. I was just like, good. Like I'm like, this is really good. Like I feel um, like in the best possible way. I think this is good, honestly. So, but yeah, it's like I want that. That was sort of a progression in thought I had. Is like I want them to be free. Like I want them to be free from me in a way. Like I don't want to be bad to them in any sort of way. Um, yeah, like I don't want them to worry about me. Um, and it's like I want to, let go, and it's like all these tensions in my mind. Like I feel like hopefully I'm getting to a point where it's like I'm able to let go, and yeah, like I don't even want to say that I love them, because I feel like more so I want to love them better. And yeah, I think this is good for me to put out. um, so I guess that's like where I'm at with that, and I guess we'll see how it goes. I think I don't want to be like they honestly cut me out of their life basically, but I want them to not worry about me. I don't want them to feel like they. It's kind of like when someone like listens to like music that just reminds them of the past and like a past relationship and stuff like that, where they're just like sad and like, or even like, yeah, basically just like upset. Like I don't want that for them, you know. I don't want them to be miserable at all because of me. You know, I just want peace for them, and I want peace for me too, and I don't want that for anyone else. I don't want to repeat that for anyone. And so hopefully I can learn from my mistakes. And again, I'm not perfect. It's definitely like a process. And I felt like when I was on this run, I was sort of seeing an end to this. Like I was seeing almost like an end to, like almost like a release where it's like okay, it's becoming done with, and um, but you know, I still feel like I miss them in a way, but it's yeah, I honestly still feel like I miss them, but I feel like in my own mind, I'm coming to a point where it's like a lot of that tension is just like dissipated. So I want to be able to share that with them. You know, um, I guess we'll see. But I want to get talking about um, this new routine I'm doing. So I did something where I did five basically half-ass 72-hour fasts in a row. I've been on this whole fucking journey where I did extended hero fasts. I got down to like 148 pounds. I fucking yo-yoed because I didn't have any lifestyle. Or I didn't have discipline in my lifestyle. Basically went back to eating whatever the fuck I wanted when I wanted. So I basically yo-yoed. Like I put on from 148 to probably like 180. You know, that's kind of horrible to even admit, but that's what I went through. So I I went on to do these five um, 72-hour fasts, like back to back to back to back to back to back. And it was actually pretty awesome. I felt pretty good for a good part of it. You know, I still felt hungry. I was eating what I wanted during this. I learned that just because I'm doing fasting doesn't make me um, fucking impeccable to sugar. Like, I say half-assed fasts because some of those days I ate throughout the entire day and then did like 2 days of fasting. And there's a few true 72s in there, and then a few not. Um, but still, throughout that, I lost about a pound a day, and I think like 15 days. So I lost like 15 or 14 pounds or something like that. And and then once that goal was done, I think having a goal, like how I want to run 100 miles before I turn 22, like that goal is just like, yes, I want that. And so having a fasting goal, I feel like is very similar to like a training goal. So um, it's like, wow, that's pretty fucking awesome. 572 is like, or 72s until I get to, it's either I get to 155 or I do 572s. Like 72s till 155 or 572s till I get the 572s. So I ended up going through that, lost like 15 pounds, and so uh, I got my phone working again because I realized that the charging port was just like really dirty. So I like ended up having to scrape it with a paper clip, and I got it charging again, so my phone works. So I can use this electronic scale that I had before. So, but yeah, when I did the 572s, I when I was done with that, I feel like I didn't have a goal. So there's actually a few days there where I ate like kind of shitty, I guess, and I put on a little bit of weight. Nothing crazy, just maybe a few pounds. And so now my goal is to do 48-hour fasts through September, the first month. So I just I think I just completed like a 48-hour fast. Um, I'm gonna be trying to get some pictures or record myself on this phone now that I got it working, of like some of the food I eat. Um, and So I did like a 40, maybe less than that, hour fast to get this started off. And basically, um, my plan is to do a refeed and hydrate day, then a dry fast day. And so I completed this, I had my refeed this morning at like 3 a.m. Because my sleep was all fucked up from me running all the fucking night on New Year's. And I don't know, my sleep was just crazy. It's been crazy. So I ended up refeeding at like 3 in the morning. And then I ate like 1.2 pounds of burger, and I ate like maybe 3 eggs with some cheese and tomato, and then I had like a tin of sardines. I had like a bowl of oatmeal. That was probably like 5 servings with berries and banana. And then I had some hot cocoa because I was thirsty, because I do that second day dry, so I was feeling thirsty, and um, I didn't have snake juice or anything like that, or water really. So, like, I don't like tap water, so I added the hot cocoa to make it taste better. And so I probably consumed about 3,500 calories in the span of like an hour, which is a lot. I can eat quite a bit of fucking food, okay? And so, I ate all that food, and I ended up taking a nap not long after. Um, Not a nap, but I slept for 5 hours, you know? And so, I had some, man, I had some pretty vivid dreams. I was getting sleep paralysis, and I rarely get sleep paralysis, but it was like when I ate all that food, it was just like the hormone like just flooded, the hormones just flood, and it's just I'm just like so relaxed, and it's like I'm just like laying there, and I'm trying to avoid sugar and stuff like that, because I notice that when I eat sugary stuff, like it's just more taxing on like my um I'll just say it, like my heart. Like I just feel like it has to work harder for some reason. And to where like if I eat oatmeal with berries and stuff like that, I can actually be relaxed, not feel like anxiety or something like that. Because if I eat a pile of sugar and I'll feel like that tiredness, but I'll just lay there, and it's just my heart is like racing. But this time I was able to, fall asleep, and I slept for like 5 hours, and I had some pretty awesome. I had some vivid dreams. I can't recall them now, but I just remember at one point feeling like sleep paralysis, and I remember the dream. I remember the dreams were vivid, like I was awake, and it's like I was typing to people and shit, and um, yeah. So, is there anything else? I hope I didn't forget anything. Let's see. My run where I tripped. this new fasting routine and some of the progression and thoughts. Yeah, I think that's about everything. I was feeling a little about like 5 to 6 hours in, maybe even still. I don't know. I was feeling like when I woke up a little bit after, I'm like, man, I kind of want to go get some. There's like this breakfast place near me, and it's like I kind of want to get their French toast and drink some coffee or something. But I don't know if I'm gonna do that. I might still, cause I'm not trying to eat all day on these 48s. I'm feeling pretty good right now. Like I felt so refreshed. Like I've never really felt that refreshed before. Like eating a bunch of food and then sleeping for 5 hours. I just felt really great when I woke up. Like when I ran this 40 miles, my body was kind of fucking destroyed. Not like damaged, but like I couldn't touch my toes. So eating this much food is just like uh, all my all the aches and pains and shit like that. It just like gone, and um, yeah, it's really amazing. And then um, yeah, like I'm feeling pretty good with this routine so far. I've only done basically one refeed, but I'm gonna do this for a month. I'm gonna keep you guys updated on it. See how it goes. If I fuck up at all, I'm gonna try and learn from my mistakes and just get back on track. And yeah, I think one thing is I've already lost. I think I'm actually able to cut weight on this routine. I know it's possible to maintain on 48s, but I ate like 3,500 calories, and when I ran that 48 or that 40 miles, I burned, it was like 8,000 calories. It's like 8,000 fucking calories. So, um, yeah, 3,500 calories. I'm definitely at a deficit still that I'm kind of in this group right now, and this guy was like, "Dang, you can pack a lot of food." And some people are, they're eating like 2,000 calories or something like that. But a thing about it, honestly, though, is like those fasts. My ghrelin or like my fullness indicator, it definitely starts to kick in when I do fasting. If I'm eating back to back to back to back, um, it's like I don't really feel full, but if I eat once every fucking 48, 72 hours or something, it's like my body knows that I have all this body fat on me, so it's like it's trying to it's almost like this intuitive like listen to your body, because your body wants to use up and be in ketosis, use up that body fat and be in ketosis. So um, I'm gonna end this video, but basically right now I'm at 165.4 pounds, which is pretty, I'm pretty decent with that. When I did carnivore, I was like 160, so it's like I don't want to be carnivore again, but I'm mostly meat based. Like I try and eat a lot of meat because it helps with muscle recovery for me and to get my protein in. But when I did this fast before I started it, I was like 167.4. There's this, like my true weight is probably honestly less than 165 because it's like I still probably had some food in me from even after fasting for 48 hours. But yeah, as I go along with this, yeah, I hope I can actually maintain a lifestyle. Like that's my goal, because I've just kind of yo-yoed a bit, but I feel like I'm dialing it in. I'm not yo-yoing so fucking hard. I'm like yo-yoing maybe a couple pounds, and um, but I'm like I'm getting on track. I feel like I'm pretty happy about it. Um, I guess we'll see how this month goes, you know. Maybe I'll do 48s for life if I can, because I honestly kind of love eating a huge meal. Like, there's something about that hormone flood that is just like very satisfying to me. And then there's something satisfying about being in that ketosis, or that that fasted state. I feel like I get the best of both worlds sometimes. But yeah, mm, yeah, we're gonna see how this goes. I'll keep you guys updated on my fasting journey. Um, yeah, it's been real. I'm glad to finally upload this. Um, yeah, I'll I'll try and make some videos when I feel like I got some shit to say. Okay. I'm actually glad to this one guy was like who basically commented saying that there something about like I don't know. They sounded like they're upset. Like this is gonna be my last video or something, and I kind of feel that in the back of my mind. Like, man, I there'll be days where I'll actually try and record something, but then I'm like, nah, I don't really like this, so I'm not gonna put it out there. But I'm sure I'll get more comfortable with this. So yeah, uh, peace, y'all.